Welcome to Nurse on the Move. So, today I will be talking about how travel nurses find housing and what are the best ways to find housing. Sometimes, as a new travel nurse, you might not know whether you want to find housing yourself or if it's best for the travel company to find housing for you. Most of the time, it is more financially literate to find housing for yourself. You end up saving more money and you end up being able to pocket some of the money that you're not using for housing. However, travel companies give you money for housing because they're assuming that you are duplicating your living expenses, being that you're traveling, so at your permanent residence you also have a home. So it is very important that you show proof of another taxable residence just for tax purposes and IRS purposes. You don't want to get in trouble. Most of the time when I find housing, I usually go through some of the housing places like Airbnb. There are furnished finders. Also, Craigslist is a great way to find housing. Usually for Airbnb, I will write a nice paragraph, send it to about 5 or 6 people, and see the responses I get. And in the paragraph, I will include that I'm a travel nurse, and I will also include if there is a possibility for there to be a monthly rate instead of a day-to-day rate. And a lot of times I get a lot of success through Airbnb. That's probably the thing that I use the most. So more recently I heard about Furnished Finders. I have never personally used it myself, but I do plan on using it in the future. So you definitely have to be mindful of the crime rates and the area that you plan on moving to. When I went to Valdosta, Georgia, I had a horrible experience when I was planned on just staying at a extended stay. I just didn't really look up the reviews or anything. I'm like, okay, I'm going to set this extended stay. And lo and behold, it was the Roach Hotel. Like, midnight hit, and I swear, bugs were coming from every crevices. It was horrible. So I did not do enough research, and I had to find somewhere to stay the last minute. And being 7 hours away from home, that's definitely not an ideal situation. So definitely do a lot of research before moving. And sometimes you might not have that much time to do the research that you want to do. But definitely make sure that you ask around, contact the local police department. Sometimes they have a lot of information online about areas that you're moving into. That'll help the transition to be way better. So when it comes to cost, the highest I paid was about $1,500 a month. That was in Baltimore, Maryland, downtown. Very, very lavish, nice apartment. The lowest I paid was about $1,100 a month, and that was in Richmond, Virginia, right around the corner from the hospital that I was living in. So you definitely have to make sure how much you're getting for housing is less than how much you're going to pay a month for housing. And you have to make sure, is it furnished, what's included, get all the details. You definitely want to make sure you have a furnished apartment and you have some closet space, you have some storage space. These are just some very important questions to ask before moving in. What's included, is the utilities included, water included. Just make sure that you have all of the details, and definitely negotiate. Sometimes people are willing to negotiate prices to make sure that, make sure that you're getting the best deal, but also you're comfortable where you're staying and you're safe.